So welcome to the second app for Swift in SwiftUI. In this particular app, we'll create a simple weather app that displays the current weather for a specified location. We'll use a basic mock data approach to keep things simple without involving any API calls and build an app something like this, which you see on the screen, where it shows the weather for a particular city, in this case Atlanta, 72 degree Fahrenheit, sunny, and you can say change location, it goes to Washington DC, 55 degree Fahrenheit, cloudy, and you can toggle between the two. This is a very simple app and it will not take us much effort to build an app like this. So let's go ahead and start with this weather app. And as you know, most of the data that we're using is mock data in this case, but in real time you can always call an API and get data for this particular project. In future videos we'll probably cover that. So in this particular case, again, we are going to create a simple weather app that displays the current weather for a specified location. We'll use basic mock data approach to keep things simple without involving API calls. The outline for this will be, first we'll set up the project, create a basic UI, add the state management, display weather information, and add a way to change the location just for demo purposes. So I'm going to start with a new project. I'm going to create a new project, app. Next, I'll call it weather app. Make sure SwiftUI is selected. Next, and save it. Now that we have our basic template here, let's get rid of these sidebars and have this here. So now the first thing that I want to do is add the state property wrapper, which allows us to create mutable state within a SwiftUI view. Here location, temperature, and description are the state variables representing the weather data. So we'll create that first. So I'll get rid of this. I'm going to go here on the top and I'm going to create a state private variable. First one is for location. I'll hard code the data for this one to Atlanta. Next, no, just copy paste this, and again. So the second one again is a string, which is the temperature. I'm going to use string for this one because so we can display more of a temperature like 72 degree Fahrenheit. We can use the next one as description, and for this I will say it's sunny weather. Okay, so I have that. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a VStack. We created navigation before, but for this particular project we'll use VStack. The VStack organizes the UI elements vertically. We'll use text views to display the weather information. So first I'm going to create a text, call it a weather app, and create a font for this with a large title. This will be more like a heading, and give it some padding. So that's my weather app. Text. Next one, I want to put location, and location I'm going to use the font basic title, and I'll give some padding to it, by default padding. Next I have temperature. So I'm going to give the temperature here, create a font of let me show you how to create a system size of let's say 64. That's what it will create. That's how it looks like. I can make it bold, and next I want to add the default padding to it. Okay, so that looks nice right now. It's coming to a point where it looks already like an app. And then finally we have the description. So I'll add the description. For description I'll use a font of dot title 2, so the default title 2 font, and give it some padding. There you go. The app looks almost done. Next we'll add the button. The button triggers the update weather function to change the weather data. So we'll switch between two different cities. I'll say action. Okay, let me just not use the default one. I'll say action. I'll call update weather, and what does this button do? It has a text of change location, and I think I forgot to remove that. change location, and this thing will have a padding. This will have a background color of something that we did before, color dot blue, same as the previous project. Foreground color of, let's use white on top, and then give a corner radius, always looks good. Give a little more, 8, and this entire padding. And now to write the function for update weather, I'm going to go here. This update weather function simulates changing the weather data. It toggles between Atlanta and one more city. I'll probably say Washington DC, with mock temperature and description data. So I'm going to create that function, update weather, and inside here I'll say let new location equal to location is Atlanta. If the location is Atlanta, then switch it to, so the new location, change the, I mean use the new, so what I'm doing here is I'm saying new location equal to, check if location is Atlanta, then change it to Washington DC, or else if it's something else, change it to Atlanta. So it's going to switch between Washington DC and Atlanta. I'm going to say let, just move it up a little bit, let what is the other thing that we have, new temperature equal to, again I'm going to look at what is the new so I'm going to look for if new location equal to, if the new location is, let's say, Atlanta, then I can say use the same thing, 72 Fahrenheit, or use a new temperature for DC. Let's say it's a little colder than Atlanta, let's say 55 Fahrenheit. Same thing for let new description equal to, if the new location is Atlanta, then say that is sunny. If you've never used this, this is a ternary operation where you don't have to write if else. So if this condition is true, then it will say sunny, or else it will say, let's say, cloudy in DC. Next, we'll go and say that let's change the location, location equal to new location. We'll say temperature equal to new temperature, and the third one is description equal to new description. I always use the autocomplete because if I have done a typo somewhere else, it will kind of keep it consistent. So if you see, it works here. Now all the code in here, let's see if it works. So weather app, Atlanta, 70 Fahrenheit, sunny, change location, Washington DC, 55 cloudy, change again. So you can toggle between these. So this is a simple application to create a weather app with some mock data. I hope you learned something from it. If you have any questions, comments, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thank you.